This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
It's Tuesday, June 30th. Time for some relentless positive radio. May I be able to first say good afternoon to you? And at about 12:04 and a half, I'm probably the first one that's able to say that to you, but I'm happy to. Glad we're together. Hang on one second.
Please stand by. Paul will be right back.
I had to move something, and I did.
Not
to confuse anything, I did not have a movement. I had to move something.
Multitasking at its finest.
At my age, you have to sometimes clarify these things. All right. Anyway, we have breaking news, so that throws everything that Mike Parsons worked so hard on doing into the air.
There we go. That's our plan
That was the plan. The Supreme Court, not to, I guess, anyone's surprise, even though they're like a week late. This is a week longer than they usually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I understand. And, these folks are getting old, so you don't like to break their routine, the prune juice, the fiber, all that stuff. You try to stick to that. But today they came out with a lot of important information. One that I am still incredibly confused how 3 people on the Supreme Court of the United States could not see the value in saying, if you were born a biological man, that's fine if you want to choose to be a woman, but you can't play in sports against other biological women who are, and it's not a problem to say it anymore, physically different than biological men. For many of us as men, we appreciate that difference. For some, they don't, and they feel they should be that way. Hey, listen, this is America. We allow people to choose and decide whatever they want. Shouldn't do it with children. Shouldn't be up to children, but that's another argument. But by a 6-3 vote on trans athletes being banned, split along ideological lines, and I still question the ideological lines. But do you know that this does not mean that across the country now, boys, biological men, boys, will not be able to play in biological girl sports? Do you know that's not what this says?
Yeah, as far as I understand, it's not a ban. It's just ruling in favor of a couple of states.
Several states that made this decision, the Supreme Court says these states have the right to make these decisions, which means there are states, California, and others misguided, who can decide to continue to do this until someone brings up another suit.
So it's kind of like the overturning of Roe versus Wade. It didn't ban abortions. It just says that each state can make their own decision about what they want to do with it.
Well put. Well put. The other big decision, and there are several, and we've got people coming on, but right now the Supreme Court upholds the state's trans athlete bans, which only makes good sense to me, but that's my way of thinking, and anyone else who's clear thinking about it. It's like saying everyone is entitled to their own opinion as long as it matches mine. But that's not what I'm saying. Mostly kind of I am. But now the Supreme Court has upheld the birthright citizenship, and that's 14th Amendment, all that stuff, and not a big surprise, because it's been a very controversial issue, and maybe there are other ways to get at the companies that have been set up to help people come here just to have babies to become citizens. I don't know. But so if you were looking at it on behalf of how the president's looking at it, you win some, you lose some. He won one, he lost one.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And yesterday, I think it was a split decision as well. President Trump is allowed to fire the head of federal agencies, except for the Federal Reserve and the FTC. So it was a pretty split set of decisions, at least when it comes to what the president was rooting for.
Let me just see what Fox is putting up here. Fox News poll should children of illegal immigrants who are born in the U.S. automatically be citizens? Democrats, 91% say yes.
Republicans,
Democrats, 9% say no.
Yeah.
Republicans, 44% yes, but 55% no. And independents, 75% yes. And independents, 25% no.
Right. The independents is the interesting one because you kind of could guess how Republicans and Democrats voted along party lines. But
yeah.
The independents.
Much closer in Republicans than Democrats. Democrats are 91% to 9.
Right.
Republicans, 44-55. That's a little more balanced than one might have guessed. But again, the independents, as you're saying and pointing out, they're way one-sided on the yes, 75 to 25%.
Right. And I don't know off the top of my head the split on the decision for birthright citizenship. If it was well, I guess it wouldn't be the 6-3 because 6-3 is the Republican to Democrat majority. Obviously, some Republicans had to go to the other side and vote with I should say the conservatives had to go to the other side and vote with some of the liberal justices.
Quick note, headline, Detroit News Metro section, Whitmer sends 161 guard troops to D.C. This is the security bolstered for the celebration of the nation's 250th birthday. I'm guessing all states have been asked to send help.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And she goes way out of her way to make it clear, quote, if the National Guard is unable or unwilling to ensure the Michigan National Guard is only supporting the America 250 mission, appropriately defined, and is unable or unwilling to communicate consistent with that fact, then I will end Michigan's support for America 250 mission, according to the governor. She doesn't want them there to enforce the safe and beautiful mission. I don't know what that means.
I know
she doesn't want him getting involved in any immigration enforcement.
That's what I think. That's what I think the safe and beautiful mission is. That at least that's how I read it.
All right. So she made that very clear, and it was important to her. Here's something made very clear. The opinion section of today's Detroit News. Under the headline, Our Pick in the GOP Primary for Michigan's 10th Congressional District. And you go to the bottom to find out what in the heck they're really saying. And so I go to the bottom. Bouchard brings a pragmatic approach to a big role, and his previous leadership experience recommends him highly for the job. His combination of service, leadership, and electability make him the strongest Republican choice. Of an impressive field of GOP candidates, our endorsement from the Detroit News goes to Michael Bouchard for Michigan's 10th Congressional District. How about that? How about that? He's a fine young guy, served the country well, from a great family who has served our country well. And that just seems to make sense for the Detroit News in their pick.
Yeah, good. And we're going to be having the current occupant of that seat, John James, on later on, who I believe he picked up the endorsement of the Detroit News and the Free Press as well. So he
did? He got them both?
I think the Free Press endorsement came out today. So that's pretty new.
I don't have it. So
I'll find it. I'll find it before we talk to him. Yeah.
Well, we got a lot going on. A lot of people are going to talk about all of these issues. Are we still waiting for anything else to come our way from the Supreme Court? Those were the two biggies.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, that and the mail-in balloting. Those were like the three big decisions.
And what did they say on the mail-in? There was
mail-in
a deadline, and they said the deadline wasn't important or something?
I think what it said is that ballots can be counted up to 5 days after Election Day, as long as they're postmarked or received by Election Day.
Oh, okay. And I saw this on television the other day. David Portnoy, Barstool Sports, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. It's astonishing. He says he'd happily run against Mamdani for New York City mayor. I don't know how that would go.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. All right. Music's playing. Time is running out with Relentless Positive Radio as you're on your way to making each and every day count, because you know each day is a gift. QTR, no control, quality time remaining. Live like you mean to. And of course, I want to thank you for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio, right here on WJR 1214.
This message is sponsored by the University of Michigan, dedicated to making a difference through healthcare, research, and service, from developing life-saving innovation to shaping policies that help you thrive and providing legal services to mission-driven organizations.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, doging state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before. He'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, Attorney General, Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
If you love golf, you'll love Michigan Golf Live, where we celebrate the greatest game on earth. This is Bill Hobson inviting you to join me every Saturday evening at 6 for Michigan Golf Live, right here on WJR.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
Hey there, WJR listeners. Chris Alberta here at Principium. Listen, your bucket of money, that precious little gem that's taken you a lifetime to accumulate, it's been growing. And if you're anything like all of my clients, you were worried that it might not be enough to supplement your retirement, especially if the markets have a downturn. All these incredible investment and insurance tools these days, they've been designed to address specific problems and concerns. But most folks I see every week, they have the wrong stuff. You know why? Because no one's taking the time to actually invest in them and diagnose the actual problem, the actual concern. Yeah, look, my process, it's laborious, but it's worth it. The results and the peace of mind are a byproduct of us learning together. If you're retired or nearing retirement, it's time for you to dig in with me. We can increase the reward and we can decrease the risk. It's a win-win. So stop going to steak dinners, free steak dinners offered by financial salespeople. Invest in yourself with me at my office on your timetable with zero pressure. Call me today, Chris Alberta at Principium, 1-888-800-8949.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with WeatherSeal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At WeatherSeal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to WeatherSeal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at WeatherSeal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most, and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at WeatherSeal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by MGM Grand Detroit. Get ready to rock as Killer Queen. A tribute to Queen brings the legendary band's iconic sound and energy to MGM Grand Detroit Thursday, July 9th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 18 or older.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Footloose at ThumbCoastTheaters.com. Experience live theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in St. Clair. Don't miss the hit musical Footloose, packed with explosive dancing, iconic songs, and a story about breaking the rules and finding your voice. Get your tickets at ThumbCoastTheaters.com. That's ThumbCoastTheaters.com. Watch out for an accident on Schoolcraft at Outer Drive. We still have that wreck on I-275 northbound, just after Ann Arbor Road, that's blocking your left shoulder. And Telegraph Road closed in both directions between Buell Road and Newport. We still have the aftermath of a wreck there. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. An extreme heat watch in effect till 8 p.m. Thursday. Hot and humid today with a high of 95. Right now it's 89 degrees. Mostly clear for tonight, a low of 78. More sun for tomorrow, a high close to 100 for Wednesday. We might even pass it. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, the latest round of talks between the United States and Iran take place in Qatar. What will come of this? Is Iran ready to play ball? It's all coming up when we see you at 2 o'clock on 760 WJR.
I'm trying to quickly read this Detroit Free Press endorsement, and I can't. There's too many ads, too many things here to be able to easily read this. But you've looked at it, obviously, Mike. You say they have definitely gone with John James as their choice for the gubernatorial candidates. Is that correct?
So that's
right.
both.
I mean, I'm trying to get through it, but my God, this goes on forever. And there's so many interruptions with ads online here that I just can't get to the end where they say, and so we choose, and the Detroit News, I could see that at the end on their endorsement. So I will ask then the deputy editorial page editor for the Detroit News, because I do not keep track of these things. Caitlin Buss is perfectly timed to be with us right now on this very big day. Lots going on, Caitlin. Don't you agree?
Yes, I do. But you are actually delivering the news to me. So I did not know that until I heard you say it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Endorsement. I've been busy.
How often does that happen that the two newspapers endorse the same candidate?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. But I think, probably there's a lot of, factors that go into that decision, maybe, strategically.
Wait a minute. I just thought of something. Do they pick somebody from the Dems and the GOP? Because this was just comparing the GOP, so that's what they're doing. They didn't pick him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
They're because they're going to pick a Democrat that they're supporting for governor. Obviously, that's what they do. All right, I didn't understand, and when Mike said that to me, I thought, wait a minute.
Yeah. So this isn't the primary.
No. So they're yeah. Okay, good. All
but
right.
it's still not. We often don't line up on a variety of races, so it's kind of unusual. But
yeah, well, there you are. And look, for those people who have been claiming all along incorrectly, and frankly, the guys that President Trump picked, the guys, man and woman, the people that President Trump picked for the Supreme Court have not always gone with him by any stretch, and they seem to be very much on their own and not like in the president's back pocket, or they would have given him that birthright citizenship thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is healthy. I think this is good. It shows the court's independence, which is exactly what you need. And this also goes against the argument that the court should be packed, or that Democrats have been making, that the court, just is always going with Trump. It clearly is not. And I know there's a lot of conservatives upset about the birthright citizenship ruling. I think, I have a lot of respect for Amy Coney Barrett. I haven't been very disappointed by her. So I think there'll be a lot of split opinion on that. But most importantly, I think the biggest win here is the separation of powers. And I always think that's important to uphold. And so Trump got one win on the transgender sports, lost on birthright citizenship.
I can't understand a 6-3 vote on the trans athlete ban split along ideological lines. What is your ideology that would make it make sense to you that a biological born male should be able to compete in physical activities with a biological born female? Of all the things we're not allowed to talk about, we can still say that men and women are indeed biologically different, even if the Democrats can't define a woman, for example, or who can have a baby, for example. I mean, I don't believe most of the country thinks that way, or at least I hope they don't. And I was a bit surprised that the Supreme Court only is giving the states that were asking this the right to ban biological males from female sports. This is not the law of the land. States like California can continue to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if most people seem to agree on this issue, yet it's incredibly politically salient. And so I think, hopefully this helps put it more to bed. But look, I do think, if California wants to have all the flexibility they want on some of these issues, there's something to be said for states setting some agendas around this. I don't agree. I wouldn't live there for those reasons, but overall, I think they made the right call.
And now what we were planning on talking with you about, and that is Governor Whitmer has taken a very strong stand on the usage of our 160 National Guard troops headed to D.C.
Yeah, and I don't know why to stick your neck out on this issue at this point. It's not something that a ton of people are paying attention to, but she kind of pulled a classic Whitmer in supporting the troops being there, but making it clear she doesn't want to be involved in activities that would hurt her politically. So I don't imagine this will go very far, but she's put her middle of the road position out.
She wanted it to be clear where she stands. And if these troops are sent in to support what the president has called his safe and beautiful mission, they will be pulled. Although it seems really hard to imagine that you'd be against something called a safe and beautiful mission.
Right. I don't know, if they see a crime in action, I'm not sure if that's the right call. So
meanwhile, the speaker, Mike Johnson, is saying that President Trump is not going to veto the housing bill. So without his blessing or signature, it's going to go through.
Yeah. And I think, this may be a situation where Trump is paying attention politically. I mean, he knows, I think he realizes that Congress has pushed back ever so slightly on him here in the past year, where maybe a year ago, they would have done whatever he said. And he also realizes they're all in close races that are coming up very quickly. So I think he's been, posturing to some extent, but knows that politically this is, something that needs to go through. So
anything else that's on your mind or that you've seen and that I've missed that I'd love to hear more about?
Well, these primaries are coming up. I know there's been a lot of attention, even nationally on some of our races. I think the Democratic Senate primary is something I've been spending a lot of time paying attention to. And, it's just kind of being reminded of how much of the issues that are going on nationally are really, very close to home for a lot of people in Michigan, whether it's data, AI, elections, everything hits us really close to home. So I'm excited to see what happens during the primary, but it's definitely heating up.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm even more excited to know that I'll be able to pick up my Detroit News, which I have delivered, actually. I'll be able to pick it up then figuratively, literally in my hands and read what Caitlin Buss has to say about all the news passing through. That does affect us. And you do a great job. Deputy editorial page editor for the Detroit News, Caitlin Buss, thanks for being with us. Have a very happy 4th and a wonderful moment to think about how great it is that we were lucky enough to win the lottery and be born in these United States of America on our 250th anniversary.
Totally agree. Happy 4th, Paul. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Caitlin. Caitlin Buss on WJR. Paul W. back with you here. And remember, throughout the course of our lives, we all have those people who we can count on. Like when I said happy birthday to you. Every day I say happy birthday to you because there are some people out there that don't have anyone to say that to them. But you always have us, WJR. But there are people who would drop everything and rush to help us if we have a challenge to overcome. That's the textbook definition of dependability. And for 87 years, 87 plus, Michiganders have counted on Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan to stand behind us during life's biggest moments. Babies being born, broken bones being repaired, times when we need care that improves the quality and length of our lives. Do you know that Blue Cross pays more than $100 million every day? More than $100 million every day Blue Cross pays out for the care of millions of us. Doing their work in partnership with doctors and hospitals, providing health insurance in every zip code in all 83 Michigan counties. Tricia Keith, President and CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, makes sure we get the care we need wherever and whenever we need it. And that's thanks to the team, their nationwide network of 2 million participating care providers, standing behind us every day for 87 years. When you can rely on a company to be there for you again and again and again, that, my friends, is dependability. And that, my friends, is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Learn more about their work at mibluedaily.com. MI like Michigan, mibluedaily.com. And congratulations to the team, as J.D. Power again calls them number one in customer satisfaction for the third year in a row. We continue in Focus on WJR at 1231.
The American Red Cross has an urgent need for blood donors to give. Donors are needed now to make sure patients across the country receive life-saving care. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% gig of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me, and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have two great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, doging state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before. He'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, Attorney General, Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
If your roof is leaking, missing shingles, or showing signs of age, don't wait until it turns into expensive damage. Get your roof replaced now and get $2,000 off with Weather Seal Home Improvements, your local trusted roofing expert. At Weather Seal Home Improvements, you work directly with the owner, getting an honest, no-hassle estimate right away. For a limited time, get $2,000 off your roof replacement. One quick call to Weather Seal Home Improvements could save you thousands. Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get an estimate today. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Is your home ready for an exterior upgrade? New roof, siding, and gutters can completely transform the look of your home. Right now at Weather Seal Home Improvements, they're giving you $2,000 off your roof replacement. They'll give you a durable upgrade for your home, protecting what matters most and money back in your pocket. Now that's a good deal. Trust the experts at Weather Seal Home Improvements for your next roof replacement and schedule a free estimate today at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com.
Two country superstars, double the hits. One unforgettable night in Las Vegas. Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan are teaming up for the Double Down Tour, and we're sending you right into the action. One winner scores a trip for two to Sin City with flights, hotel, and tickets to see Aldean and Bryan with special guests John Party and Chase Matthew live under the neon lights. Listen weekdays for the national text keywords and double down on your chance to see Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan take over Vegas. Prize provided by BBR Music Group. Check out Aldean's new album, Songs About Us, available everywhere now.
You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, people are responding and reacting, in fact, including our President of the United States, which you knew was coming on things the Supreme Court did that he didn't like. And his word on this right now, I think, coming over on his, whatever it is, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president. That has now been determined during this process. Did I read that wrong, Mike, or is it just confusing?
I don't know because it went away on the screen. However, being confused by one of Donald Trump's social media posts in all caps sounds very feasible.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to look it up, but I am going to operate under the assumption that it was just written confusing.
Okay. Jared Halpern, Fox News correspondent and WJR contributor extraordinaire, is with us, and his duty today making sense of all of the various Supreme Court orders, decisions, findings coming out today. Jared, always a pleasure, sir.
Yeah, and getaway day. The Supreme Court now done for this term, laying out these hotly contested ones, including, you're right, birthright citizenship. And I have the president's full message here on Truth Social. He says the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president that has now been determined in this process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. I'm not entirely sure a law that Congress passes would get around some of the concerns that were raised in the opinion. Let's talk a little bit about the opinion because it was a little confusing. So the overriding opinion, the majority opinion, was written by Chief Justice John Roberts, and he basically goes through the history of the 14th Amendment and makes clear that it was the framers' intention for anybody that was born on American soil to be an American citizen. That is the majority opinion. 4 other justices joined the Chief Justice in that, Amy Coney Barrett and the 3 liberal justices. There was a concurring opinion that was written by Brett Kavanaugh. And Brett Kavanaugh said, I agree with the outcome that this executive order is illegal. But he said it was not about the 14th Amendment. It was about a 1950s law that Congress passed that essentially codified birthright citizenship. And he said that Congress could rewrite that law and get around, at least put limits on birthright citizenship through legislation. That seems to be what President Trump is calling for. We have heard from the Speaker of the House, from some Senate Republicans, that they want to go about doing it that way. My only caution to that is they could do that. I don't think it has the votes, but even if it did, it would likely still face legal challenges and perhaps send it back to the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's always complicated. It can always be confusing, but there you have it. Also, the Supreme Court is allowing states to count mail-in ballots that arrive late. That's rejecting the Republican National Committee's challenge. The Supreme Court limits the use of geofence warrants amid cell phone data privacy concerns. Have you looked into that very much,
That's an
Jared?
interesting decision. Yeah, listen, I think that's a fascinating decision because the way that cell phones now can be used in law enforcement is ever expanding, right? I mean, we know that, in evidence, there have been the ability to place somebody at the scene or near the scene of a crime based on where their cell phone pings were or calls or text messages that they were sending. What this does is basically rein in how police can use that in the investigative process, that if they are trying to figure out if somebody was in a certain location by asking a cell phone provider, a wireless provider, to give them data on all of its users that were in whatever range, they need a warrant to do that. That this geofencing is the same as a search as understood through the Fourth Amendment. So it adds some judicial oversight to how police are using geofencing, geolocation, in the course of their investigations.
And the case that led to this decision involved a bank robbery in Virginia, where a geofence warrant was used to track down the suspect, who, by the way, pleaded guilty to the crime.
He did. But that's not, I mean, the court very rarely cares about sort of the outcome of the case, right? It's whether
details.
Well, details matter, right? But this is a larger issue than that, because it raised a novel question about, one of the reasons he pleaded guilty, I assume, is they showed this evidence to him. It was like, we know that you were there because this geofencing said so. And his attorneys were like, well, you didn't have a warrant for that. And so they go forward and they get it to the Supreme Court. And it's going to have obviously an impact beyond this bank robbery case. But it is a notable case that it ended up in federal court as well, because bank robbery is a federal crime. And so it went through the federal appellate process. But it's an interesting case because, it's not the first time that justices have had to wrestle with this. I remember several years ago, a question about, whether or not police could look through your cell phone in the course of an ordinary stop, right? What kind of warrant do they need to start opening up apps and looking at things on your cell phone? They need a warrant for that. And one of the reasons is because justices said the expectation of privacy now certainly has to extend to your mobile device because of all of the ways that we use our mobile devices. People have medical records on their phones.
Right. Absolutely right. One other thing, Jared, we know, I'm just surprised. The Supreme Court is split 6-3, but it wins a vote on trans athletes ban, split along those ideological lines. Most of the country, I don't know, I might be wrong because I live in my own little backyard, but I think most of the country doesn't think it's right that a biological male should go up against a biological female in an athletic endeavor.
So this was another confusing decision because part of that decision was actually 9-0 and part of that decision was 6-3. And it falls on the issue of whether or not transgender status is protected as a protected class. And in this case, what the majority opinion ruled is that states do have a compelling interest to protect athletes, to protect their students in these sports, and that the science is not clear on what sort of advantage or disadvantage may be at play. And so they largely leave it to the states. The dissent came because in a ruling, I think last year, justices ruled that transgender status is a protected class as it relates to workplace discrimination. And so it is drawing kind of delineations between how we categorize these protections for transgender athletes and transgender workers.
We can always depend on you for breaking it down and making people, even like me, understand it. Jared, I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
work.
you. Thank you very much.
You take care. Jared Halpern, Fox News correspondent, WJR contributor, with Paul W. Smith in Focus on WJR at 12:43.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? You want to think of this as being your money. But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And these taxes, well, they could be a lot higher than you know. Learn how you could reduce or potentially eliminate these taxes with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from the Brzezinski Group, a second-generation financial advisory firm right here in Metro Detroit. If you saved at least $250,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 800-641-3361. This free analysis could save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in retirement. Call 800-641-3361 That's 800-641-3361. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Firm does not provide legal or tax advice.
Hi, it's Paul W. here from Metro Cars. When planning a wedding, every detail matters, including transportation. Metro Cars provides premium wedding transportation throughout Southeast Michigan, offering luxury black car service for the bride and groom, as well as group transportation options for wedding parties, family members, and guests. With a fleet that includes luxury sedans, SUVs, executive vans, minibuses, and motor coaches, Metro Cars can accommodate transportation needs for intimate ceremonies and large-scale celebrations alike. For more than 35 years, Metro Cars has been trusted for professionalism, reliability, and exceptional service. To learn more about wedding transportation packages, visit metrocars.com or call 800-456-1701. That's metrocars.com or 800-456-1701. Metro Cars, elevating your wedding day from the first pickup to the final farewell.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
We love to celebrate the 4th of July with family, friends, food, and fireworks. Please be safe this Independence Day weekend and don't drink and drive. From your friends at News Talk 760 WJR and Michigan Auto Law, auto accident attorneys.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. Trade every match from the opening rounds all the way to the final. Last week, Argentina was trading at 15% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade could pay out $637 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Want to know what they're trading at today? Check Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PITCH to get a $10 credit when you trade $10. That's promo code PITCH. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Must be present in state where it's legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. $10 free credit with no expiration. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Big news in the race for governor. President Trump has given John James his complete and total endorsement to be the next governor of Michigan. That's right. President Trump has endorsed conservative warrior John James.
From the great state of Michigan, the legendary John James.
Congressman John James, a friend of mine for a long time, and he's doing a great job. Incredible patriot, a West Point graduate, a U.S. Army veteran, a successful businessman. We're going to put John James in charge. So, John, I'm with you. You have everything I can do.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your support. I'm John James. As your governor, I will put my trust in God, and we will put parents back in control of education, eliminate the income tax, and end corruption in Lansing. Common sense is going to make a comeback.
Please join our president in supporting the conservative choice for governor, John James. Paid for by John James for Michigan.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day, but Aleve is here to keep you moving. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
WJR Traffic and Weather is sponsored by Footloose at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in St. Clair. Don't miss the hit musical Footloose, packed with explosive dancing, iconic songs, and a story about breaking the rules and finding your voice. Get your tickets at thumbcoasttheaters.com. That's thumbcoasttheaters.com. That accident on Outer Drive at Michigan Avenue is cleared. Still have that wreck on I-275 northbound after Ann Arbor Road. That's blocking your left shoulder. And Telegraph Road closed in both directions between Bull Road and Newport. We still have the aftermath of a wreck. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. An extreme heat watch in effect until 8 p.m. Thursday. Hot and humid today with a high of 95. Right now it's 89 degrees. Mostly clear for tonight, a low of 78. More sun for tomorrow, a high close to 100 for Wednesday. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
I think I have to make this announcement. It's unusual, but I mean, there's so much scuttlebutt about this. I want to make it very clear, and this is very important, that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are not getting married in my backyard. I just wanted to make that extremely clear for those who were wondering.
So wait a sec.
Everyone's talking about it.
I just want to clarify. So then you don't live in front of Madison Square Garden, then?
No, I do not, nor do I live in Madison Square Garden.
That's where I got confused.
Where we do believe they will get married on July 3rd. I wish them well. I hope that the marriage is as great as they hope that it will be. That's all I'll say right now. You know, I'm sorry I could not make my backyard available, but
so what are you wearing to the wedding, though, Paul? Because obviously you're invited.
Tuxedo.
Okay, that's appropriate.
Yeah, tuxedo. Yeah. And I'm taking a little bucket to take collections outside.
For you.
For me. They don't need the money. Right. Are you kidding? Anyway, Anthony Bellino, AB, co-host of Sports Wrap with Lomas Brown Jr. and Anthony Bellino, weeknights at 6 on WJR, the finest sports talk show in the country. Monroe's own fellow Monroeite, Anthony Bellino, is here. Man, Anthony, I didn't think we'd be speaking this quickly about the Lions releasing Terrion Arnold. I thought that came quick.
Yeah, hello, Paul W. It did come quick, and I think that the organization had to do what was in the best interest for them. And they had an earlier situation, if you remember, a couple of years back with Cam Sutton. He had an issue in which some charges were brought against him, and they dealt with it swiftly. So it kind of seems to be the MO for the organization that they're not going to deal with this. They're not going to put up with it. And, you know, good for them. Whether the charges stick to Terrion Arnold or not, there was enough there that the judge down in Florida, they want to try to prosecute this. It doesn't look good on the surface, innocent until proven guilty. So we'll see what his attorneys can prove. And, you know, he's got bigger fish to fry right now than just his NFL career, right? And so from that perspective, I think you look at the long-term perspectives of what Terrion Arnold is going to be for not just a football player, but from a personal standpoint and what that looks like for him. But for the organization, they've kind of drawn a line in the sand that they're going to only accept a very specific kind of player. And once charges are brought, that's where they kind of draw that line. I know a lot of people want to go to Jamison Williams right off the bat. There was no charge for the concealed pistol, and there wasn't a charge for the gambling. That was a league violation, and the league rules weren't very clear at the time. So that suspension ended up getting reduced anyway. So there might be a little bit of leeway, but the minute there's some sort of indictment like that, it seems to be curtains. And I gotta go with the organization. Like at the end of the day, we all know that talent equals tolerance, right? And so the more talented a player is, the longer that leash will be for that person to stay on the field or on the playing surface, no matter what the sport is. But at some point, it's okay to have a high character football team. And
absolutely.
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I agree. I feel bad for this kid. I think he didn't feel that justice was serving him after he felt he was robbed of $250,000 worth of stuff. So he took the law in his own hands, and they're going to use that. They're going to make an example of him on that, I think. I don't know for sure, but it's not so
Paul
good.
W., in 1726, that might work out. In 2026, I don't know if that's a great idea. You kind of just let the legal system play itself out there.
You're wise beyond your ears. I mean, years. You are, indeed, AB. Dusty May broke my heart. He has been sharing reasons for leaving Michigan. I thought it was a few $1 million.
No, it's not all about that. And when asking about what made the job so enticing, he did say there's different criteria for everybody when it comes to jobs, but this one checked all of the boxes. He said that he wasn't looking for a job until he met up with the Dallas Mavericks, and they were talking in Chicago about a couple of different things and about some of the players from Michigan as they were doing a scout. And then they just said, well, what about our job? And it seemed to be that one of those things where it wasn't necessarily on the radar until it was on the radar, and then some deep thought and everything else. else. And it really does, on the surface level, look to be the problem with college athletics played a role, and there are some other things that college basketball coaches are required to do that maybe just wasn't of interest to him anymore. He did cite that he just wants to get back to coaching. Like, that's what he wants to do. He wants to be around people that want to learn. He wants to coach, and he wants to have his focus and his priorities on that. And right now, in the current state of college affairs, you just can't do that. That is just not the main focus.
I'm so glad that, and I stand corrected. I shouldn't have. The easy answer was the money. It's getting into the NBA. It's accomplishing one thing at one level of the sport, moving up to a higher level of the sport, the NBA, and all of the things, Anthony Bellino, you just went through. He actually will be able to coach basketball. In fact, he'll have to coach basketball and not deal with the portal and NIL and things that are ruining college sports. So I give him that.
And think about this, and it's a question I'd love to ask Coach Izzo as well. Like, look at the Mackinac Policy Conference a couple of weeks ago, right? And they had the big, basketball roundtable with, Dusty May was there, Brad Galley hosted it, Coach Izzo was there. There's so much other stuff that you have to do, and Coach Izzo's plate is full right now. And basketball is like the least of his concerns with everything that's going on at Michigan State, and he is the one guy that everybody is looking to kind of maintain the ship here, if you will, during these turbulent times, and it just keeps happening over and over. And it's like, you think that Coach Izzo just doesn't want to coach basketball? Like, some of this other stuff, now he's in a much different situation, but there's a lot of other responsibility that comes at the collegiate level that I think if you just want to coach, that might not be the right spot right now.
Coach Izzo, I feel sorry for Tom. He has done such a fabulous job for so long and continues to do a great job off the court as well as on the court. It's just a crying shame that he's got to go through all this. I can tell you, I'm not quoting him. I know from looking at him, and he's not happy with the way things are. He wasn't happy with the portal, the NIL, social media, all these things that now affect his players that never existed. Quickly, is it a surprise LeBron James is leaving the Lakers and he'll play elsewhere next season?
That's not a surprise. What might surprise you, however, Paul W., is that his son, Bronny James, his contract became guaranteed by the Lakers yesterday. So the news coming out today, there's a little wrinkle for you. Just make sure the kid's contract is guaranteed, and then he can drop the news that he can go play elsewhere. Typical LeBron James move there.
All right. And Red Wings entering the NHL free agency. Thoughts?
Got to do something immediately. This Dylan Larkin thing, it cannot hang over the dressing room like a dark cloud. Teams are already calling about Alex DeBrincat. I would make Alex an offer that he can't refuse. I'd get that C ready to get stitched onto that sweater immediately, and I would come guns blazing and get ready to deal Dylan as quickly as possible.
AB, you're the best.
No, you are, Paul W. I appreciate you.
No, you are, and I'm so thrilled you're doing so well. Anthony Bellino as co-host of Sports Wrap with the legend, and Anthony's the legend in the making, but Lomas Brown Jr., the legend, and AB Anthony Bellino, weeknights like tonight at 6 on WJR, the finest sports talk show in the country, and we have it right here in Detroit on WJR. God bless you, Anthony, and we'll talk to you again. Happy 4th. Stay away from the fireworks. Leave it to the experts, please.
No fireworks for me. Only steaks and hamburger patties this weekend, Paul W. Thanks as always, my friend.
I bet the butcher shop is one busy place today. All righty. Danny's in Monroe. Go there. You'll see him. He's working in the family business. God bless him. We continue in focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR.
You're not lazy, so your money shouldn't be either. Join No Lazy Money with Nick and Jim from Peak Wealth Management. Discover investment strategies and elevate your wealth. Tune in Wednesday at 7 p.m. with host Ryan Armani. Empower your financial journey.
Summer nights are back at USA Hockey Arena's Summer Drive-In. Load up the car, grab your snacks, and enjoy blockbuster movies under the stars. Affordable, family-friendly, and the perfect summer tradition. Only at the USA Hockey Arena's Summer Drive-In. SummerDriveIn.com.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
You just have to eat kale. Kale, kale, kale.
I read you should put butter in your coffee.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your energy, digestion, and overall health, how do you know what's actually right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to show what's going on inside you right now. Not trends, not guesses, your biology. With your results, Viome gives you clear, personalized, actionable guidance. Which foods help you, which ones don't, and which supplements your body actually can benefit from. All based on the world's largest gut health databases and thousands of clinical research studies. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and an improved mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing.
And maybe still eat the kale?
Maybe. Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
And eat everything blue.
No, thank you.
Steve Courtney here, inviting you to support Sparky Anderson's Catch Charity for Children. Our 39th annual Catch Golf Classic, presented by the Greater Detroit Toyota dealers, takes place at the beautiful Red Run Golf Club on Monday, July 20th. Only a limited number of sponsorships are still available for golf, but our online auction featuring trips, golf packages, and sports memorabilia is available to anyone wishing to participate or to make a donation. For information on the Catch Golf Classic or how to participate in our online auction, please visit catchcharity.org.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
A win and a loss for the president. Lisa Brady, Fox News. First, the loss, the U.S. Supreme Court blocking a Trump executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship for children born to parents who are in the U.S. illegally or with only temporary status.
Writing for the majority, Chief Justice Roberts says this: citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. Talking about the 14th Amendment, the framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land. That's a quote, and it looks like it's a quote back to some of the legislative debate about this in Congress. He says we keep that promise today.
Fox's Shannon Bream at the High Court. The amendment was originally meant to ensure rights for freed slaves. Critics argue it's been abused. President Trump calls it bad for the country, just posting Congress should end it.
We'll see. I'm sure there's going to be lots of discussion about that. I will say I'm very disappointed in that outcome.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says the ruling sets up serious challenges for the country, but House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries tells reporters
Donald Trump was endeavoring to violate the Constitution because he's a wannabe king.
The president is praising decisions allowing states to ban transgender athletes from girls' sports programs.
West Virginia and Idaho laws banning transgender girls and women from female sports teams do not violate the U.S. Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. More than 24 states have similar laws, and the court's decision will likely settle disputes in those cases as well. Writing for the majority, Justice Brett Kavanaugh lays out an interest in states protecting biological females to ensure competitive fairness.
Fox's Jared Halpern, the three liberal justices disagreeing with part of the ruling, but the court unanimously ruled the transgender bans do not violate the anti-sex discrimination law known as Title IX. The High Court also erasing limits on how much political parties can spend in coordination with candidates for Congress and president, striking down the decades-old federal law. America is listening to Fox News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Ken, Mary from Grosse Pointe had a terrible experience with a contractor she found on a national website. Why?
That's because national websites never meet the contractor. They just send the money in the contractor and they refer them. Not that way at the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
No, when you need a contractor you can trust, InsideOutsideGuys.com.
We'd trust them at our house. You can trust them at your house. Go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
A great kitchen starts with a great plan. At Maxwell Building Services, we specialize in design, build, kitchen remodeling throughout Metro Detroit. Our team guides you through every step, from layout and design to custom cabinetry, countertops, lighting, and construction. Whether you're looking to create an open concept space or completely transform the heart of your home, we deliver a seamless remodeling experience from start to finish. Visit MaxwellBuildingServices.com or call 586-697-8066 and discover what's possible. Maximize with Maxwell.
This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Hour number 2 in Focus and relentless positive radio. Best we can under the circumstances. Not always easy. We appreciate it, though, that you're tuned in on your way to making each and every day count, because you too know that each day is a gift. We all need reminders from time to time. And that QTR thing that Kim brought up, quality time remaining, that's the one we don't know. That's a big if. It's a big question mark. So live your life the way you want to live it. If you're not living it the way you want to live it, it's never too late to start living the life you want. I want to thank you, too, for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. Don't take it from me. Take it from the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. When you listen to WJR, you're listening to the number one station within our entire region. And so we do appreciate that. The team, Mike Parsons, our executive producer. Oh, by the way, you can see Mike not only on the Facebook and YouTube pages streaming our video live, which I know is not always easy to tune in, especially if you're driving, you can't. But wherever you might be, but on my Paul W. Sminsta, my Instagram account, Paul W. Sminsta, there is Mike Parsons standing with a nice group of people. Have you seen that picture yet?
Yeah, it's probably, I don't remember who took that picture, but it's probably the best picture taken of me in a while.
It's a nice picture, and it's got the former First Lady, Sue Snyder, Governor Rick Snyder, you, Mike Montry, the king of road racing, including the 250 in Washington, the American 250, Kim and me.
Right.
Or is it me and Kim? I think Kim and then me.
Yeah, you're on the end, which is nice, Paul. I was just thinking we don't have enough pictures together.
No, we don't. We really don't. I'm going through all the pictures I have on my phone, which is far too many. And I feel bad because we aren't going to have scrapbooks in the future like we had. I go see Mother, Sweet Marie, and she'd bring out the scrapbooks. Now it's all on our phones, and it's rare that we all get around and say, gather around my phone.
You know what my phone does, Paul? You know how with an iPhone, every now and then it'll give you like a video montage, like of your pets here. About every other one of my montages that the iPhone makes is of you, because I've got so many from remotes and stuff. So
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they pick weird things in those montages.
Yeah.
It's all done by the robots, computers, whatever. And some of it is like, what? What are you doing? Quick note. The Supreme Court of the United States denied to hear Alan Dershowitz's defamation lawsuit against CNN. He's suing them for $300 million, alleging distortion of his arguments during President Trump's impeachment trial. But he lost due to lack of evidence of actual malice. So, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that. There have been so many of these findings that they're releasing rapid fire.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was a busy term or if they just had a whole lot of high-profile cases we've been watching. But
they're a week later than they usually are. I mean, they what is it called? The goodbye, the get out, the turn back. I don't know what.
I think Jared Halpern called it the getaway day.
The getaway day
Yeah.
would have been generally last week sometime.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Maybe that's why it's a week late, because they had so many cases to get through.
Yeah. I didn't know this either. I spent 6 glorious years in Philadelphia. I loved them. They loved me. And I remember at one point or another, the Rocky statue being at the top of the stairs going into the art museum.
Right, iconic.
Like, pretty famous.
Right.
Iconic.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know, honestly, maybe if I knew it, I just don't remember it, that the Rocky film was kind of based on Joe Frazier.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that either.
Know that.
No, I didn't know that. I thought it would be like Rocky Marciano, someone named Rocky.
Whatever. So there's been a Joe Frazier statue because he's a real guy and a real boxer that I'm sorry, I just saw Danielle Mason walking around carrying a wire. I thought she was going to wrap it around your neck and strangle you.
Right. This would have been Exhibit A in her trial here.
Yes, I was a witness, and I don't want to be a witness.
I just needed to throw my gum out.
So you had to walk all the way to the other side of the booth there, holding your headphone wire, the squiggly wire, and throwing your gum away. Did you make it? Did it make it into the wastebasket?
It did make it in, and I had to do that only so I could keep hearing what you guys were talking about.
Commitment.
Oh, well, that's good. I for a moment, I got confused and thought you couldn't throw your chewing gum away unless you had your headphones on. It takes me time. So Smokin' Joe Frazier actually lived in Philadelphia. And so, unbeknownst to me, I've been gone for a long time, but there's been a big argument about what do we have some fake boxer, Rocky, at the top of the stairs, and what are we doing for the real boxer that came from Philly that Rocky was based on, Joe Frazier? So now it appears Smokin' Joe is going to be at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, cool.
If somebody knows more about this, they'll let me know. But he's either at the bottom of the stairs at the art museum, or he's going to be up at the top with Rocky. I don't really know. But worse than that, I had no idea this was a problem, that this was going on. So anyway, got that out. Very quickly, Kim sent this to me. 17 labor delivery nurses. 17 of these labor and delivery nurses in the same hospital unit are now expecting babies at Dayton's Miami Valley Hospital. 17 of them that work there in the delivery unit of the hospital. 17 are pregnant. In an unrelated story, apparently Ohio experienced one of the coldest winters in history this past year.
Completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated. Can you imagine?
I feel like
17?
something similar.
Oh, it happens every year. Somebody somewhere.
I feel like it's happened here before in Detroit. I don't want to say which hospital system because I don't want to be wrong about it. But yeah, you wonder, is there like is it a coincidence? Is there some kind of pact?
I thought it was something in the water.
Right? Or they're like, hey, let's really stick it to this hospital and all go on maternity leave at the same time.
Here's another note. It is Corvette Week 2026, National Corvette Drive Your Corvette to Work Days, and it starts today.
Wow.
Honoring more than 7 decades of innovation, engineering, and the passionate community that has made Corvette America's longest-running, continuously produced sports car. And I have to tell you, today's Corvette is such a bargain. I mean, they're not cheap.
Right.
But when you put their stats up against Ferraris and Maseratis, and throw out another important expensive
Lamborghinis.
name. Lamborghini. That's a good one. That makes me hungry for lunch. I'll have the Lamborghini with extra cheese.
Yes.
It is a steal when you compare it to those other supercars because, and we should be proud of this, made in America, it is an American supercar.
I'll have to drive mine to work tomorrow to celebrate.
Show off.
We'll take a spin in it.
You know, Jim Miller, who he just had his 80th birthday, or it's coming up, one or the other. I said it on the air if it happened. Did I already say it? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I worked with in Monroe at WVMO at my first radio station. I knew that it was the business I wanted to be in because he went out and bought a Corvette. Now, I never have, but I thought, man, if you can buy a Corvette working in radio, this is it, baby.
You can buy a 2000 Chevrolet Corvette for $18,000.
Well, you could also buy at that time a 1996 Toyota Corolla for $3,700. But anyway, sad news here, sadly, but we should mention it. A Michigan firefighter is among the 3 wildland firefighters who died while battling a fast-moving wildfire in western Colorado over the weekend. Emily Barker, 38, of Clinton Township, was killed while responding to the Knowles fire with 2 fellow firefighters during the initial attack operations. This, according to the United States Department of the Interior and Agriculture. One of our own, Emily Barker of Clinton Township, a hero, lost her life in that fire. I just didn't want that to go unnoticed or unannounced. Anything else? Do you have anything else before we move on and say hi to Dr. Saul Kogan?
No, let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. We continue hour number 2 of Focus with Paul W. Smith and the team, Mike Parsons, Danielle Mason, Rich Luzinski, right here on WJR.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now, 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, doging state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before. He'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, Attorney General, Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. Don't miss your chance to save on tech, chairs, custom print, school supplies, and more. It all ends July 4th. Staples, that was easy.
Hi, it's Paul W. here for Metro Cars. When planning a wedding, every detail matters, including transportation. Metro Cars provides premium wedding transportation throughout Southeast Michigan, offering luxury black car service for the bride and groom, as well as group transportation options for wedding parties, family members, and guests. With a fleet that includes luxury sedans, SUVs, executive vans, minibuses, and motor coaches, Metro Cars can accommodate transportation needs for intimate ceremonies and large-scale celebrations alike. For more than 35 years, Metro Cars has been trusted for professionalism, reliability, and exceptional service. To learn more about wedding transportation packages, visit metrocars.com or call 800-456-1701. That's metrocars.com or 800-456-1701. Metro Cars, elevating your wedding day from the first pickup to the final farewell.
Welcome in. We are backstage with our good friend Kathy Verton of Thumb Coast Theaters, who has so much going on in St. Clair. Thumb Coast Theaters was a passion project, essentially, was it not? Catch us up.
It was. It absolutely was. After years of working in manufacturing and aerospace and automotive, I just, 6 years into retirement, looked at my husband and said, I want to open a theater out here. And he said, you're crazy, but you're determined, so I'm going to help you. And we set about to find the right location along the river, and we found a little storefront in downtown Marine City on the main drag. And I said, okay, let's do it.
30 years in a career, you finally, quote unquote, retire.
Yeah.
And you're sitting around and you say, we've got to do something. I've got to do this. What was it about theaters?
And it's funny because everybody, I do love the arts. I really do. And I spent a lot of time when I was younger performing while I was in college, the resort town work. But most of it came out of looking at this area, this Thumb Coast area that I don't think a lot of people are as familiar with as, say, up north. So I said, I think we need that catalyst. We need that driver. I mean, the river alone isn't enough. It's interesting. It's beautiful. You've got the international shipping channel. But if we had something that would draw people out, they might come back. So I said, this will be an economic driver.
Kathy Burton, thumbcoasttheaters.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Oof, shocking time to lose a whole strut.
Ugh, comedy is not your thing, but I do know that Rock Auto has what I need to fix it.
With parts shipped right to your door. No kidding.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
An accident closes Telegraph Road northbound between Newport Road and I-275. Use Grafton Road or another alternate at this time. Some stop and go on I-75 northbound between the Southfield Freeway and 4th Street. Construction blocks your 2 left lanes on the Jeffries westbound between Levan and I-275. We do have some lane closures on 10 Mile westbound at Woodward and the Jeffries eastbound at Telegraph Road. Steer clear of an accident. Traffic is being diverted via the exit and entrance ramps. You're slow from Inkster Road there. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. An extreme heat watch in effect until 8 p.m. Thursday. Hot and humid today with a high of 95. Right now it's 89 degrees. Mostly clear for tonight, a low of 78. More sun for tomorrow, a high close to 100 for Wednesday. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Coming up Wednesday on JR Morning, the latest from the Supreme Court. We'll also celebrate America's 250th by highlighting yet another founding father, and we'll play Name That Tune, all from 6 to 9 here on WJR, WJR.com, and the always. See you at 6 a.m.
You know, for years, I've been telling you about the Nerve and Disc Institute, which Dr. Saul has been really focusing on identifying and correcting the root causes of chronic conditions, pains. He's been helping lots of us, and I speak for Kim and me, avoid surgery by restoring function to damaged disc, joints, and nerves. And now the organization is expanding its mission with the launch of the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute, which is a new division dedicated to helping patients who may not qualify for restorative treatment programs, but are still searching for meaningful pain relief and improved quality of life. Dr. Saul Kogan joins me as the owner and clinic director of the Nerve and Disc Institute and the newly launched the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute. Dr. Kogan, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, Paul. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. How you doing today?
I am doing well, and I know the people who come to see you are doing well from my own experience to get that kind of relief. You've always believed in treating the underlying problem whenever possible. How does this new clinic play into that for you?
Well, you know, Paul, it's the Nerve and Disc Institute was born of correcting problems, right? I mean, at the end of the day, traditionally, if you had a serious disc condition or osteoarthritis in your knee, you really only had a couple options. One is to live with it. And, you know, the problem is they're degenerative conditions. The other was to manage it. A lot of ways to do that. But they ultimately will often lead to surgery. And, you know, that's kind of where the Nerve and Disc Institute fit in, was to help people who have tried everything avoid surgery and not have to live with the pain. Unfortunately, out of every 10 people I see there, you know, we accept maybe 3 or 4. So 1 or 2 out of 10 just aren't candidates, can't do it. They have already had a knee replacement or have a major fusion. 4 or 5 out of 10 people that we see, you know, are candidates, but I don't find them to be good enough candidates to get the results that we want to get. So we don't take them. So, you know, we really stack the deck, and that's why our success rate has been so high. And something didn't sit right with me about, you know, turning people away.
They were kind of like, some of these people were like falling through the cracks, kind of.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of where we had the idea for the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute, it allows us to treat people that weren't necessarily like weekend warriors, that weren't bad enough to require what we do at the Nerve and Disc Institute, and also people that were already too far gone, for instance, like if you had a knee replacement. So I kind of sought out who I believe to be one of the best laser techs around, probably the best guy I know, David Katz, who's been working with laser for over 2 decades. And we partnered up on this new venture, and it's just really been doing great. We've been helping a lot of people that in the past we may not have been able to take on as patients.
Interesting. So, Dr. Saul Kogan, owner, clinic director of the Nerve and Disc Institute, and now the newly launched the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute. Specifically, what would this new division be designed to help people? What are these people suffering from that you think you can help them?
So, a lot of these people have, back or neck pain, and they're sick of taking drugs or getting injections, and they may have had a fusion, or really it's just more something simple. So we see those people. We see a lot of people with our Knee Restore RX treatment at the Nerve and Disc Institute. We can't do that on someone if they've already had a knee replacement, but we certainly can help them with the laser eliminate pain or improve function. And we've seen really great results with that. So like I said, it allows us to see people that aren't necessarily bad enough for our treatment or too far gone for real restoration, but they do great and get long-term relief with laser therapy.
Chronic joint pain, sports injuries, overuse injuries, and folks, frankly, who have exhausted all of the traditional treatment options should look into this. And with the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute utilizing this most powerful laser, I can understand it improves circulation, it accelerates tissue healing, it helps control pain without drugs or surgery. It's always been a little hard for me to figure out how a laser, which in itself to me is like this intense light that generates heat, how does that reduce inflammation?
So laser's been around for actually over 50 years. And I can tell you, at the Lions training facility over 20 years or over 40 years, and at the Tigers for many years. So lasers do 3 things, and there's a lot of confusion about laser. It doesn't matter whether you use a high intensity, low intensity, they all do 3 things. They increase blood flow, they decrease inflammation or swelling, which will reduce pain, and they can stimulate the mitochondria, which is the part of the cell that's responsible for healing. So they help heal tissue at its core. Now, there are 4 classes of laser. Classification has nothing to do with how good a laser is. It's how powerful it is. So a class 1 laser is also known as a cold laser. It can't burn you. It can't cut you. You can't do surgery with it. A class 4 laser is what they do LASIX with. And we have a class 4 laser. We don't do surgery with it, but we have a very, very high dose, high intensity class 4 laser. And, it's funny because people always think bigger is better. And I keep telling myself that it's not. The idea of having so most high intensity lasers are 30 or 60 watts, maybe 45. Ours is 90. And it's not because we're always using 90 watts. It's because it gives us the versatility to treat more things and treat them specifically. For instance, really with lasers, you're talking about power and wavelength. And I like to think of it as the type of medicine you're using for a condition and the dose. And with a 90, it allows us to target specific conditions in a way that other high dose lasers can't.
Now, will we find... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say, will we find the new Nerve and Disc Laser Institutes inside the Nerve and Disc, your regular institute?
Yes, in Farmington and Clinton Township. Those are the offices that we're doing it in currently. We may expand later, but we like starting small and making sure we get all the bugs out. We're treating people appropriately and just make sure that everything's going right. So currently, it's in the Farmington office and in the Clinton Township office.
And there's a separate phone number for when you're calling either the Nerve and Disc Institute or the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute. For the Laser Institute, it's 248-326-2030. That's 248-326-2030. Chronic neck and back pain, pain following spinal surgery or multi-level spinal fusion, severe arthritis, pain after knee replacement surgery, neuropathy and nerve-related pain, chronic joint pain, sports injuries, overuse injuries, and patients who have exhausted traditional treatment options. You now have another option, and it's the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute in Farmington and Clinton Township.
And you know what we're doing is we're doing 50% off through the end of July, where it's for the first 20 callers, really, for each office. But it's 50% off in the consultations, no charge.
50% off the month of July if you make the call now, 248-326-2030, 248-326-2030. Anything else, Dr. Kogan?
That's all we got, Paul. I mean, I'm really excited to have this new opportunity to help more people feel better, get better without drugs and surgery. And it's, we're really excited about this.
Yeah, we're excited to tell our listeners about it. I'll see you soon.
You got it, buddy. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You have a great day and a great 4th of July weekend. Dr. Saul Kogan, owner, clinic director, the Nerve and Disc Institute, now teaming up with David Catt, a laser tech extraordinaire, launching the Nerve and Disc Laser Institute at his Farmington and Clinton Township locations, 50% off in July. It's 1:30 at 760 WJR.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Michigan summers mean outdoor adventure and fun, but high temperatures shouldn't break your budget. Count on Consumers Energy to help make the most of this season and your budget with tips and ways to save. Making small changes like shifting some energy use to the morning or evening, raising your thermostat a couple of degrees, doing laundry at night or on the weekends. It can help lower your bill while keeping your home comfortable. Discover more ways to beat the heat at consumersenergy.com/summer.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here, and right now during our Make This a Summer sales event, all new Rams come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty, Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This June, Chrysler employees with loyalty can lease a 2026 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for just $299 a month. Leases for 27 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down, with only tax, title, and plates being extra. So come see all the great values at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, our newest location on Mac in Detroit, or always at Golling.com.
We want everyone to enjoy their 4th of July weekend, so please use a rideshare or a designated driver. A DUI will change your life. Don't drink and drive. From your friends at News Talk 760 WJR and Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hey there, WJR listeners. Chris Alberta here at Principium. Listen, your bucket of money, that precious little gem that's taken you a lifetime to accumulate, it's been growing. And if you're anything like all of my clients, you were worried that it might not be enough to supplement your retirement, especially if the markets have a downturn. All these incredible investment and insurance tools these days, they've been designed to address specific problems and concerns. But most folks I see every week, they have the wrong stuff. You know why? Because no one's taking the time to actually invest in them and diagnose the actual problem, the actual concern. Yeah, look, my process, it's laborious, but it's worth it. The results and the peace of mind are a byproduct of us learning together. If you're retired or nearing retirement, it's time for you to dig in with me. We can increase the reward and we can decrease the risk. It's a win-win. So stop going to steak dinners, free steak dinners offered by financial salespeople. Invest in yourself with me at my office on your timetable with zero pressure. Call me today, Chris Alberta at Principium, 1-888-800-8949.
Scrolling with Haley. I'm Haley Carania. I scroll with the homies here in the live chat because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok.
Cutting through the clutter, one hot take at a time.
Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. But I do it to get all of the videos and all of the content that you won't find anywhere else.
Scrolling with Haley.
Just search that up and I will be there.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Catch Jamie's journey. Jamie Edmonds and friends bring you stories of triumph over adversity.
Now I want to bring in Wendy Henning, clinical oncology social worker. You gave me a little takeaway about worry, but I don't think the worry is serving me.
If you have checked off all of those lists and it's not serving you in any way, it's not helping move you forward, acknowledging your worry, understanding and recognizing that it's normal, try and let it go. And you might have to do that every hour.
Jamie's Journey, Thursday nights at 8 on 760 WJR.
We'll make it through.
Stream at WJR.com or wherever you get your podcasts. You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Very timely because in today's Detroit Free Press, they have chosen our next guest as the gubernatorial candidate they would support. That is Congressman from the 10th District, Republican, John James, who just got yet another nod. He got it earlier from the Detroit News. Now he gets it from the Detroit Free Press, and he's gotten it from so many other organizations and groups. Pretty overwhelming. And John, you seem to continue chugging along and doing a nice job.
Well, thanks, Paul. One foot in front of the other, and I'm excited to get in front of all 10 million Michiganders to earn their trust and support. I'm grateful for the president's endorsement, and I'm honored for the opportunity to earn you all support as well.
I have to tell you, in fact, I tried to tell you, the new ad on television where you are, there's a box with some information in it. You slip it back and you go past it and you go past the next one. It basically tells us where you stand on all of these various issues that are important to all of us. What it does not do is attack or put down any of your opponents. And I salute you for that. I would love to think we could have elections that are led by that kind of advertising rather than what we see and are sick of.
Well, I would totally agree, and most people around the state of Michigan agree. But because right now you have Marxism on the march, you have socialism on the move, and these are folks that told you that America was evil. It's not. Told us that capitalism was theft. It's not. That police are the enemy. They are not. That borders were immoral. They are not. These are things that we can all agree to, that most people with common sense understand to be true about our great country as we celebrate 250 years. I have more things to talk about the things that I've done, experience that I've had, and bringing together people in the state of Michigan, frankly, who've been failed by the current regime in the Whitmer administration. And I'm looking forward to focusing on the positive things that I'm going to bring to push back on the negative things that are making lives of Michiganders tougher.
You did get the nod big time from our current president, Donald J. Trump, and that's a big deal. in all of these primaries. It has been a very good blessing, and you deserve all the blessings you can get for all the work you've done serving this country. The president did well with the Supreme Court. You win some, you lose some. The big one, I think, was the 6-3 vote on the trans athlete ban, which they say was split along ideological lines. I don't know what ideological line there is to suggest that a biological male should be able to go up a biological female in an athletic endeavor. Just doesn't make sense to me. But be that as it may, how did you feel? And I know you're busy, you're on the road, you don't get to follow all this stuff, but how are you reacting to what the Supreme Court came up with today on that, on birthright citizenship, and anything else that caught your attention?
Yeah, like most Michiganders reacted to it. It's a statement of fact. Look, we want all of our children to be able to compete, but it should be biological males competing against biological males, and it should be biological females against biological females. We need to have a level playing field, fair play, and safety, and from the playing fields to our locker rooms. And anything that jeopardizes the health or welfare of our children should absolutely be overturned. And when I'm governor, I'm going to make sure that we uphold Title IX, that we protect our girls, and that we preserve the fairness and safety of sports for all children.
Well, it's very important that you state that, because as it turns out, the Supreme Court did not say that's the law of the land. They merely said that those states that were bringing this to their attention, who have decided to ban trans athletes, can continue to do so, which means other states can do whatever they want to do at this point.
Which is exactly why it's important to have a common sense governor, which is why I'm running, because I can guarantee you Jocelyn Benson is going to put biological boys on the same courts, in the same fields, in the same locker room as your biological daughter. That, I believe, is wrong. I believe it is immoral. I believe, again, that we need to allow children to play, but biological boys should play with biological girls on the field of competition, and biological girls should be protected and be able to compete with biological girls and be in biological girls' locker rooms. Again, these are things that are common sense to 90% of us, and when I'm governor, we're going to make sure that that is the fact. Under Jocelyn Benson, she absolutely will not.
Congressman John James, the Republican from the 10th District and gubernatorial candidate who just got the nod from the Detroit Free Press, earlier the Detroit News, and also from President Donald J. Trump. What do you think, John, is happening in our country? We only need to look at the people coming in for the World Cup, talking about how amazed they are and how great America is, because they've been led by the news media that we're not so great. And they're all saying, wow, we're seeing it, we're living it, we love America and we love Americans. And yet we have Americans running for office or in office who don't believe America is great, who are Democrat socialists, or as I say, communists. How is it that they're doing so well in this country? What has gone wrong?
Because communists have infiltrated this country a long, long time ago in our universities and in our schools, and they've successfully twisted the minds of so many people. And so right now, you have a media corps overwhelmingly that teaches our children and teaches our folks that are around here that America is bad. America is not a bad, evil country. America is the greatest country that's ever been. America is a place where the idea that all men are created equal is the first time has been tried in human history, and we've flourished over the past 250 years, and strangers are coming to our shores and recognizing and realizing that. We have a remarkable amount to be grateful for, and we will continue to pursue a more perfect union together, which is the reason why we need to take a look at this opportunity and get the most out of it, because there is not another America. There will not be another America. We have to stand up and preserve and fight for our republic, because certainly the world is unable to. I'm excited for the opportunity to make our republic stronger, to make Michigan great again, and make sure that everybody can live a more prosperous life, that everybody can feel like they can pursue the American dream, so that everybody can feel as much pride about this country and our state as I do. And I believe that, again, with a change in leadership, a change of culture, in the state of Michigan, and once again, teach our children to love our state and to love our country, rather than allowing the leftists and communists to teach our children to hate it. I think that's how we can turn this thing around and continue to make Michigan America great again.
Amen. God bless you. John James, Congressman, the Republican from the 10th District, gubernatorial candidate, picking up the endorsement from both the Detroit Free Press, earlier the Detroit News, by President Trump, and a whole list of other people who are saying he's the guy they support to be the next governor of this great state of Michigan. God bless you, John, and have a great 4th of July with the family.
Thank you, my friend. God bless. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.
We continue in focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by the law firm of O'Reilly Rancilio, advising and representing school districts for all of their legal needs for more than 40 years. Get details at orlaw.com.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? You want to think of this as being your money. But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And these taxes, well, they could be a lot higher than you know. Learn how you could reduce or potentially eliminate these taxes with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from the Brzezinski Group, a second-generation financial advisory firm right here in Metro Detroit. If you saved at least $250,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 800-641-3361. This free analysis could save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in retirement. Call 800-641-3361. That's 800-641-3361. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Firm does not provide legal or tax advice.
America 250, Michigan made.
Two cousins, one white, one black. Same bloodline, but living in two very different Americas. Fast forward to 1959, one cousin launches Motown Records in Detroit with an $800 loan. The Supremes, The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, and Stevie Wonder create the sound of young America. Motown breaks down barriers, tops the charts, and unites a divided nation through music. The other cousin, he becomes president of the United States in America's bicentennial, 1976. Berry Gordy and Jimmy Carter, second cousins who helped shape American culture in profound ways. From that little house on West Grand Boulevard, Michigan's own Motown proves that great music transcends every boundary.
America 250, Michigan made. From 760, WJR.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. Don't miss your chance to save on tech, chairs, custom print, school supplies, and more. It all ends July 4th. Staples, that was easy.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity. protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Rediscover the magic of summer at USA Hockey Arena's Summer Drive-In. Big screen, warm nights, and your favorite people all in one place. Pull in, tune in, and make memories that feel like summer should at USA Hockey Arena's Summer Drive-In. SummerDriveIn.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
Some stop and go on I-75 northbound between the Southfield Freeway and 4th Street. An accident closes Telegraph Road northbound between Newport Road and I-275. Use Grafton Road or an alternate. I-96 eastbound now closed as well between Beach Daily and Telegraph Road. We've got a multi-vehicle accident there. And watch out for a wreck on I-75 southbound at I-94. That's slowing you down from Holbrook. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. An extreme heat watch in effect until 8 p.m. Thursday. It's important to stay hydrated. I myself am drinking a strawberry lemonade with a soupçon of Absopure. Hot and humid today with a high of 95. Right now it's 91 degrees. Mostly clear for tonight, a low of 78. More sun for tomorrow with a high close to 100 for Wednesday. I'm Rich Bluzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Yeah, water. That's the most important thing you can drink right now, and I've always pushed clean air in the house. Call Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. They can put in air cleaners. Clean water in the house, whether you have a system, what are those, reverse osmosis systems or bottled water, whatever you might have. Clean water, very important, and have plenty of it handy over the next several days. It's a dangerously hot time, and it's only going to get worse through Thursday. All right, take your mind off that with your chance to win a trip to see two country superstars, Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan, in Vegas, baby. Double the hits, one unforgettable night. We've got your flights, hotel, and concert tickets covered. The Double Down Tour, Aldean and Bryan co-headlining with the special guest John Party and Chase Matthews, all live under the neon lights. Prize provided by BBR Music Group. Text this hour's national keyword DUST to 95819. That's DUST, D-U-S-T, DUST to 95819. We'll text you back to confirm your entry. Data and messaging rates may apply. Of course, please don't text and drive ever. Official rules and more information at WJR.com. All right, couple of things here. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. We didn't really have a chance to talk about it. Maybe it's not worth talking about at the moment. Dave Portnoy is an interesting character. Barstool Sports. I don't even know the whole background, but my son, Jamie Geisinger, used to tell me all the time about this Dave Portnoy and this podcast, and he really was a fan going way back. And now, of course, I mean, the rest is history. Portnoy's, I saw a story on him, and he's like standing outside his $42 million house.
Yeah, I mean, Barstool is an empire. I mean, I would say it's every bit as big as ESPN right now. I mean, ESPN has the cable network, but when it comes to an online entity, Barstool is right up there.
Wow, that's big.
It's huge.
And, ESPN is the whole reason Disney bought
ABC.
Us,
You're right.
ABC, many years ago, was to get ESPN because at that time it was a license to print money.
Mm-hmm.
It fell off because sports are available everywhere now. The Betty Crocker Network is coming up next. But anyway, Dave Portnoy says he doesn't want to get into politics, but if he did, he would happily run against Mayor Mamdani for New York City mayor.
That'd be really interesting because Portnoy, he's not quite Donald Trump level, but I mean, he definitely shoots from the hip, and he would definitely him and Mamdani would have some very interesting back and forth.
Would be fascinating. President Trump urges gasoline retailers to lower prices and warns of big problems if they don't. Is he suggesting price gouging, as we've talked about in kind of a couple of places?
Yeah, that, and I'm also sure that he's frustrated that this war in Iran is not going the way he thought, and they can't.
Is that the truth?
They can't get that Strait of Hormuz completely reopened. So I'm guessing he's trying other avenues to try to bring down that price of gas, because the price of gas is tied to the economy, and the economy is the thing that'll make or break Republicans in the midterms.
And through at least Sunday, millions and millions of people are going to be out there pumping gas and seeing the prices on the pumps. And
right.
After this, you're never going to have this large group of people out there again till the next big holiday. And I don't even know what the next big holiday would be for driving.
Yeah, maybe Labor Day. I don't know if Labor Day is a big driving holiday, but
I don't know either.
Maybe not till Thanksgiving or Christmas then.
I did not read this story in the Free Press. I read the Detroit News because I have the Detroit News in my hands. I'm not sure, maybe you understand this, but it says, first air quality alert issued for Southeast Michigan this season. I don't understand that because I have on my phone received what I think is called an ozone alert day almost every day for the last, I don't know how many days in memory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I've got the one that tells us about the wildfire smoke. I downloaded a couple of years once the Canadian wildfire smoke started invading. But that's funny because that's what the air quality concern is, ozone action, because it's so hot out.
Yeah, so I don't understand what they're talking about. This says, the thing you sent me says it's in the Free Press. Air quality alert, first air quality alert issued for Southeast Michigan this season. I don't, unless they're starting from summer, which just started, if that's what they're considering this season. But I've been getting a lot of these.
Yeah, I know there's like a ton of steps. There's like safe, then there's moderate, then there's dangerous for sensitive groups, then there's just dangerous. So maybe it's gone from dangerous for sensitive groups to just dangerous for everyone. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll just stay inside until it's under 90 degrees out.
Yeah. I must tell you, I do notice that if we leave the doors open to get fresh air, which we're not going to do now because it's so damn hot, but I start sneezing a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's because, honestly, the air in your house can and should be cleaner than the air outside. That's just a fact.
Right. That makes sense.
And so bear that in mind. And we went through the whole thing about how to use air conditioning and all the rest of it. Tomorrow we'll have some notes on how Metro Detroit is celebrating America's 250th. And it's not just now, but it's really, I think, for the summer. And we got a lot more things to talk about. But one of the things we need to do is make way for the one and only Ryan Ermani.
Paul, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing well, Ryan, and I know that you've got an action-packed show for JR Afternoon coming up next.
Feeling like $1 million, and we do. We're going to talk about some of those Supreme Court decisions that happened earlier today. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions as well with Doc Macaroon, Terrion Arnold cut. Also, one of the members of the Grosse Pointe School Board is going to join us to talk about a drag event that happened at an elementary school.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me at all.
It doesn't to me either.
I don't get that at all. Hey, I want to know this, and I should have asked you earlier. You never appear to be down, but if you ever are down, what do you do to snap out of it? What do you do? Help the rest of us.
I say 3 things that I'm grateful for, and it changes the way I think about the day.
Excellent. Gratitude is the attitude that can save us all. And it unfortunately is not practiced as often as it deserves to be. Gratitude. Glad you
That's
said that. Stand by for news. JR Afternoon, the one and only Ryan Ermani. You go on out, make it a great one. If you're driving, take your patience along and plenty of water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Talk to you tomorrow from noon to 2. Regards, Paul W. Smith.